Hello and welcome to the Honeycomb Hat video tutorial. I will begin by showing you the 4-row repeat that we work across the body of the hat. To start, we chain 1 and then turn our work to start crocheting across the very first row. Our very first row starts with a double crochet stitch into the very first stitch of the row. Now we'll start repeating 3 stitches across the row into the last 4 squares. This 3-stitch repeat starts with a front post double crochet, followed by 2 normal double crochet stitches. So that was our front post double crochet, and we will follow it by 2 normal double crochet stitches. Again, repeat these 3 stitches in that order across the row into the last 4 squares. If you don't know what I mean by the last 4 squares yet, just wait until the next section. We have almost reached the last 4 squares. As you can see, we are still repeating our pattern of 1 front post double crochet stitch, followed by 2 normal double crochet stitches. We will end on a front post double crochet stitch right before the last 4 squares of the honeycomb pattern, as you can see here. We ended on a front post double crochet stitch and now we go into single crochet. We do 2 normal single crochet stitches and then 1 front post single crochet stitch. Again, 2 normal single crochet stitches followed by 1 front post single crochet stitch. We repeat that until the end of the row, which is not very long because we only have 4 squares to complete. So again, this is the last repeat, 2 normal single crochet stitches followed by 1 front post single crochet stitch. And then we do a regular single crochet stitch in that little edge stitch right there. So we're ending with a normal single crochet stitch, which makes sense because we started with a regular double crochet stitch. We chain 1 and now we go into the second row of this waffle stitch repeat. We start with a regular single crochet stitch, and then we're going to do another regular single crochet stitch. Now we will start into our 3-stitch repeat, which is 2 front post single crochet stitches followed by a regular single crochet stitch. So 2 front post single crochet stitches followed by a regular single crochet stitch. And we are going to repeat that until the stitches become, again, double crochets. So if you want to think about it in the 4 squares again, you want to do single crochet repeat across the 4 squares that we did on the last row. And when we get to the end of that 4 square section, we go back into double crochets, but following the same pattern. So if you don't understand what I mean yet, just follow this tutorial. As you can see, we're doing single crochets, and we have here reached the area when we turn to double crochet. So then we stop with the single crochets and we do 1 normal double crochet and then 2 front post double crochets. And we're going to repeat that pattern of 1 normal double crochet followed by 2 front post double crochets across the row until the end. So here we are. We are doing 1 normal double crochet stitch followed by 2 front post double crochet stitches. If any of this sounds confusing, I think the pattern lays it out in a very clear manner, telling you exactly where to do every front post, every normal, every double, and every single crochet. Here we have almost reached the end of the second row of waffle stitch. We're still continuing our pattern, which is the 1 normal double crochet, followed by 2 front post double crochet stitches. And I will show you how to finish off row 2, which is we are going to end our repeat with 2 front post double crochet stitches and then 2 normal double crochet stitches. So here, 1 normal double crochet stitch and another one in the little edge stitch at the end of our row. There we go, a little edge double crochet stitch. And we've ended with 2 normal double crochet stitches, which makes sense because we started this row with 2 normal single crochet stitches. Now let's do the waffle row 3. We start with a normal double crochet stitch. Then we'll go into our pattern. So we're going to do a front post double crochet stitch followed by 2 regular double crochet stitches. If this feels nostalgic to you, it's probably because we did do this exact pattern in the first waffle row stitch. The first waffle row stitch is the exact same as the third waffle row stitch, except the third waffle row stitch does not have any single crochets at the end, which you will see very shortly. For the third waffle crochet stitch, we are just doing our 1 front post double crochet followed by 2 normal double crochets all the way across the row. So I will see you at the end of this row. Here we are at the end of waffle row 3. And as I said, we're just continuing with our double crochet repeat. So we're doing 1 front post double crochet followed by 2 normal double crochet stitches. And we will quite literally continue that until the last stitch. So as you can see, here is the single crochet stitch section, but we're just going to continue putting our double crochets in there. We're doing our our normal double crochets. We're doing our normal front post double crochet, 2 normal double crochet stitches, another front post double crochet stitch. It might be a little bit tight because the row before this was single crochets, but you should be able to get in there with your hook. And we should end the row after a front post double crochet stitch with a normal double crochet stitch into that little edge stitch. And that is the end of waffle row 3. I'm just finishing with the last normal double crochet stitch. And we're going to chain 1 a turn, and we're going to do the last row of the waffle pattern repeat, which is waffle row 4. We start with a normal double crochet stitch. We start with a chain 1, and then we're going to do a normal double crochet stitch and another normal double crochet stitch. And here we start our pattern, which is 2 front post double crochet stitches followed by a normal double crochet stitch. And we repeat that across the row. If this is also familiar to you, that's because it is very similar to waffle row 2, except that waffle row 2 started with single crochet, and waffle row 4 is entirely in double crochet. So here we are, we're doing our 2 front post double crochet stitches, followed by a normal double crochet stitch. And just continue that all the way across the row. Here we have reached the end of waffle row 4. As you can see, we're still doing our pattern, which is the 2 front post double crochets followed by a normal double crochet. And I will just show you how to finish off this row, which should be pretty familiar to you. As you can see, we're doing our 2 front post double crochets. We're doing our normal double post crochet, and we are going to end with 2 normal double crochets. So those were our last 2 front post double crochets, and then we're going to do 2 normal double crochet stitches, 1 and 2, the last one being in that little pesky edge stitch. There we go. Now we're going to repeat those 4 waffle stitch rows until our rectangle reaches the desired length, which means that it wraps around your head. So this was my length. Then I fold this rectangle in half, make sure the wrong side is facing out, so that's the side that doesn't look like waffles, and we're going to start seaming up the ends. What you're going to do is you're going to line up these 2 edges, and you're going to insert your hook into that very first stitch, and then into the corresponding stitch of the other edge, which should be right next to your working yarn. Then let's insert that hook into the corresponding stitch. Good. We're going to pull the yarn over and then pull that loop all the way through all the loops on your hook, which is a slip stitch. We're going to continue this pattern all the way across the row, making sure to basically slip stitch each stitch with its corresponding stitch from the other side together. This is seaming up the edge of the hat and making it into a tube. If you don't like this slip stitch method, you can alternatively grab a tapestry needle and sew up the ends of your hat. I prefer doing the slip stitch method because then it just means I crochet the whole thing. But if you do the slip stitch method, make sure that you're pulling those slip stitches loose, because if they're too tight, your hat is going to cinch up and we don't want that. So we'll continue slip stitching this across the length of the hat until the sides are seamed together, and I will see you for the very last step. It is now time to cinch the hat together. Make sure that your hat is oriented to the tapered sides at the top. The tapered side is the side with the single crochets. And you're just going to bring your needle in and out. You're still on the wrong side of the hat. In and out, and pull it all together so that the top cinches. After you cinch it, you're going to turn your hat back right side out. So as you can see, now I'm right side out. And you're going to start inserting that needle and making sure that you're really just closing that hole up. Really stitch it all together. And when you're done, your honeycomb hat is finished. Thank you so much for following this free tutorial. And if you like my stuff, then make sure to check out my website, joytocreate.net. Thanks, guys, and see you in the next one.